That's the ball lodge,
Oh,
isn't it?
no way! No way!
And there's only one material difference between this Targe and the last Targe.
Hi folks, Tom from Fandabidozi, thanks for tuning in. Here with another video for the Highlander series where I'm looking at the Scottish Highlands during the 17th and 18th century, mainly from the context of wilderness survival skills and martial arts. And in this video, I'm revisiting the iconic Scottish shield known as the Targe or Targe in Gaelic. Now I've already done a detailed past video about the Targe where I talked about its history, how it was typically constructed, and how it was used in both single and battlefield combat during the 17th and 18th century. So go check out that video if you haven't seen it already. And in that video, I discuss how during this time period, the Targe's design and tactics was evolving due to the increased use of black powder firearms. And I came across some different ways of making the Targe that people theorized was an effort to try find that balance where, you know, it's still lightweight enough that you can still use it as a hand weapon, but also an attempt to try and make it bulletproof, at least bulletproof for the guns typically used during that time period. But as far as I'm aware, no one has yet tested some of these Targe designs against the typical firearms of the time period. Until now, that is. Yo! So this video took about 6 months to organise, and I'm super grateful to everyone who helped make it happen. Now stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how you can enter for a chance to win one of the Targes that we tested. But before we get into it, this video wouldn't have been possible to organise or fund without the special help of our wonderful sponsors, Wandrium. In this video, we'll mention some iconic battles that shaped Scotland, and really the whole world that we live in today has been shaped by some decisive battles throughout the world and ages. And recently, I've been really enjoying an online course titled The Decisive Battles of World History, as well as History's Great Military Blunders. And it's mind-blowing how all our world cultures, languages and geopolitics can be dramatically shaped by just a few key decisions or mistakes taken by one person at key moments in human history. I've been doing these courses through the platform Wandrium, which is the rebrand of the Great Courses Plus, and they have been a faithful sponsor for the channel for several years now. Wandrium Courses offers a huge variety of short and long form videos, lectures, tutorials, how-tos and documentaries, all given by enthusiastic experts in their field, and new content is released monthly. They have topics on pretty much anything you can think of, from history, science, music, martial arts, economics, mythology, you name it, they probably have it. My favourite thing about it is you can download the audio of the courses on your phone and just listen to it like you would a podcast while you're doing other things. For example, I love to learn and listen to different courses as I'm building things or while on long car journeys. Some past courses I've enjoyed include Celtic World and Cooking Across the Ages, just to name a few. So you can try it out for free by going to www.wandrium.com/Fandabidozi or click the link in the description below to start learning today. It also helps support the channel. Alright, so for today's Highland Mythbusting video, I'm joined by two special guests. We have Paul MacDonald from MacDonald Armories. I would say Paul is the go-to guy for all things Scottish military history, so he's here to keep us right from the historical side of things. We also have Raymond Finlayson, and he is part of a Jacobite reenactment group, and he's a owner of some beautiful 18th century firearms that are going to be giving our Targes a hard time today. So we got 3 different types of Targes, all made with slightly different variations of material, which I'll get to later. But first, a big thanks to the craftsmen who made these. So these two were made by Vaughan Moffat from Hammer and Hand, based in Tasmania, Australia. So these are already quite well travelled. Beautiful Targes. And this one in the middle is made by Graham Biggerstaff of Alba Targes. So thank you both so much for making these. Yeah, hopefully they'll survive somewhat till the end of the video. So am I right in saying that the standard construction of a Targe in the 18th century, it was generally 2 layers of softwood? Yeah, can you explain it?
That's right, we're finding not just, you know, 1 layer of planked wood here, we're finding 2 layers of planking being put together and held together with wooden pegs. Okay. And what we find is that the grain of the wood is crossed at 90 degrees.
Okay.
That does a couple of things. It strengthens that overall construction against impact against edged weapons, certainly, but it also, well, we're in the Highlands, and you know you're going to get a nice view, but you know you're probably going to get soaked through to the skin at some point. So everything had to be weatherproof, and this is a weatherproofing consideration as well. It stops it warping in one direction, it gets fully soaked through.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and people have tested shooting these with muskets in the modern era, right? But what is kind of make this video a bit more unique is that you've come across some examples that seem to have a layer of felted wool in between the planks. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, it was a really interesting little detail that popped out when examining some targes where either the edge leather was, you know, removed enough or worn enough that you could see between the layers of planking. And there was another couple of examples where the rear of the Targe you could see visibly between a couple of the layers, you know, between the planks themselves.
Okay.
And what we're seeing was a fine layer of compressed wool.
Interesting.
So everything about the construction of any weapon has to be practical first.
Yeah.
So, you know, our minds start to go to what's the reason for this? And there's something that seems to make sense, but there's only one way to know.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. So yeah, we're making history in this video. So basically we've got a few different variations of material to test these theories of why these targes were constructed in this way. Now, this first one is made by Vaughan Moffat, and this is just the 2 layers of softwood, no wool core, a layer of leather facing with the brass studs. This second one, made by Graham, is 2 layers of planked softwood, but in between the layers of planking is that felted wool that the historical examples seem to show. And the final one, again, is made by Vaughan, and this is 2 layers of hardwood, 2 layers of oak, and in between that is, that felted wool once again. So hopefully we've got a bit of variation that we can test our different firearms on, from, I guess, prediction-wise, from softest to hardest, but I guess we won't find out until later on. Which brings us on to Raymond, with your boom sticks that you're going to be testing these targes on. Can you explain briefly about what the 2 different weapons you're going to be shooting today?
Absolutely. So, first one, I'll reach over and pick up the Flintlock pistol. It's a .51 caliber, and it is a typical Scottish design. It's a Doon pistol. Now, Doon is a village in Perthshire where these Scottish all-metal pistols were made. First of all, in the mid-1600s by a pistol smith called Thomas Cadell. He starts the production first. Others will also produce. Campbell, Murdoch, and those who know about these pistols will recognise these names, Campbell, Murdoch, in regard to these pistols. No trigger guard, all metal. There's a clip on the back where it will slot into a belt, and quite a common way of wearing them could be on a shoulder strap like this, just tucked against the chest, and that's quite secure. Also keeps the firing mechanism dry because that's against the wool jacket on my chest. So that is the Flintlock pistol, a close range weapon and used in battle at close ranges, possibly 10-15 yards. The Flintlock musket is a French 1720 Charlesville. It is a .69 caliber and is supplied by the French for the Jacobites during the 1745 uprising. Now the size of the musket ball for this Charlesville musket is the size of a Malteser with the chocolate licked off, and there we have it between my forefinger and thumb. Solid lead ball, and that will do an awful lot of damage to whatever it's going to hit. Now the gunpowder charge for the musket has to be appropriate to the diameter of the barrel, and with the appropriate charge the musket ball will have a maximum range of 150 yards. But at 150 yards it's merely dropping into the heather. There's not much force behind it anymore. This is really a close range weapon, and battlefield ranges are really from 70 yards downwards, and the closer you can get to your enemy, ideally about 25 or 30 yards, is where you want to volley your muskets. And it takes a lot of discipline to march that close under fire to achieve that. There's steel flintlock pistol here. Obviously a much smaller musket ball, range much shorter, again as I said before, about 15 yards, even closer in battle. Takes 20 seconds to reload. I don't have time in the heat of battle to reload my flintlock pistol, so I can flip it around. It's now a club. It's heavy, and that will do some serious damage. Or I can throw it at my enemy, which again is a pretty lethal projectile. So the flintlock pistol, number of uses, and if I do throw it at someone, I pick it up at the end of the battle, or hopefully a better one.
Great. Well, thank you. So guys, do you have any predictions what you think is going to happen? Do you think all of them are just going to get minced and they're not going to stop anything, or do you think some might stop the pistols? What do you guys think?
Well, the hope is, I think, that we see a difference between the Targe without the webbing and the Targes with the webbing.
Yeah.
It'll be just interesting to see the differences between the hard and the softwood versions.
Yeah.
But the idea of why that was there in the first place is that it seems to be providing a compression layer, which also separates the planking slightly enough that should stop the splintering of the back of the first plank immediately pressing and pushing and splintering the second, and
dampening that shock wave that would be if you had two hard surfaces and that shock wave would just go straight through.
So
just dampen it a wee bit.
In theory, that seems to make sense.
Yeah.
And
okay.
this is where
and
we
is
find
it
out.
kind of similar, you could say, to the idea of modern Kevlar? You know, the softer thing where you've got a strong fibre.
Similar idea,
kind of capture
as
that
a
projectile.
a web as such.
A web,
to absorb the energy.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, let's go check out our range setup because we're gonna test out slightly different angles, slightly different variations, basically to and we're gonna try and make it as realistic as possible in terms of how someone would hold this Targe. So yeah, let's go to the range and explain our experiment.
Tom, you'll be holding the Targe, right?
I will be, yeah. So this is to kind of simulate someone holding our shield. We then have a cardboard silhouette target that we're just going to place right behind. So if any bullets or parts of splinters go through, hopefully that will show up in our bit of cardboard. And also, is it right, Paul, that there's accounts of Highlanders deliberately tilting their Targe when they're expecting a volley?
Certainly of them getting down behind the Targes. This is something that Donald McBain talks about as a Highlander, but as a soldier against Jacobites at Battle of Mulroy and Killiecrankie. He talks about the Highlanders being behind, receiving the volleys of shot behind their Targes. It doesn't talk about specific angles, but it would make sense
if
to
you could
present
angle it slightly.
More of a metal face with your studs when it's at an angle.
Yeah. Okay, so we're kind of we're going to stay at a fixed range for both the pistol and the musket, but we're going to play around with this angling to see if it makes a difference. That's a hit. Yep. So this is our first hit on the softwood no wool core, and we slanted the Targe to kind of recreate that kind of preparation for battle that there's some recorded evidence of, and quite an interesting. Looks like it stopped it. What's your diagnosis, Paul?
It's an interesting result and something I don't think we quite expected. We've got both entry and exit here on the Targe, so it's bounced through, or looks as though it's bounced through, but when it's impacted in the upper part of the Targe here, and of course it's got a bit of freedom of movement as a Targe would have on impact naturally, and so when it's been hit, the Targe is levelled more as this has been travelling and it's exited out fully.
Cool. So, our wee Manny is still safe?
It saved his head.
Oh. Oh,
Alrighty.
it went through. Interesting.
Right.
How's it looking
aye.
there? And a big splinter out the back.
Punch through, aye.
Okay.
Big splinters taking the leather off the back there as well.
Interesting. That's the splinters.
That's your bits.
Jason, see that straightish twig? Now, could that go through as a nice indicator?
Aye. There we go, there we go.
Yeah, that gives us.
CSI 1745. So it's punched through, so it's punched through pretty.
So he got lucky first time when he was tilting it. But we just dropped the angle just a little bit.
Yeah.
What was that rough angle do you think that first shot was?
It's a very shallow angle.
Very shallow angle.
About 20 degrees maybe.
Yeah.
About 20 degrees, but then that gets shallower with the impact.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going
Because
to
there's
tilt
an
up.
exit about here. Whereas this is dropped and hit lower down.
It's pushing down the
So
way.
it's pushed
Yeah.
in this way here.
Should we just try with a pistol next? Now we know it's not going to stop a musket flat.
I put so much paper in. It's right on the edge. Yes.
Right here on the edge.
Has it been
And I
deflected
caught it.
away, Paul?
Now,
There it is.
it's caught it.
It's caught.
It's caught it.
Well,
It's in there.
But it hit a
Yes,
stud.
yes.
So you see the studs
Yes, it
working
did.
there.
Aye, it's actually hit right on the stud, hasn't it? And the stud's deflected it enough. It's deformed there
Yeah.
with
The
the
perfect
shape of
concave.
the stud head.
And did it go through?
Oh, I can't see.
Right, there she is. No.
No.
There's your ball.
No.
Again, it's hit a stud. Look at that. It's hit the stud. You can see it's where it's flattened
Interesting.
and deformed. But it's enough to absorb the force over where the stud contacts against the face. It spreads the force and it deflects the ball off, just as this one's done. Exactly the same. And it's gone into the soft wood, and that soft wood's basically
Absorbed it.
caught it.
There we go.
Result.
So it's pistol proof. That's a good sign. That would still be one reason that, to enforce your Targe like this, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
These studs are not just decoration.
Yeah. We can see that they're doing a lot to stop the bullets. Right
This
there.
one.
Yeah.
Stopped it.
It stopped it.
On a stud.
It's on a stud. Oh, we said you couldn't hit a stud. We said you couldn't hit a stud. He's been too accurate for his own good again. There you go.
We're gonna come up with a conspiracy here where it turns out that there's like a magnifying tool towards the
Force
studs.
field.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to know.
We got to know. Okay, another shot.
Gotta know.
Another shot.
We're gonna shoot until we don't hit the stud.
It's not hit a stud, but it's
Okay.
gone further than the one that did.
There we
Now
go.
that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good test in itself, right there. This has hit a stud, and it's only, you could say, gone as far as the first plank, whereas this is in danger of poking through.
So we're pretty confident even your standard construction is at least pistol proof of this caliber of pistol.
That looks right.
Oh, you can see it. I think I can see the ball. That's the ball lodge.
Oh, no way! No way! Woo-hoo-hoo! Look at that! A musket shot has properly been stopped.
And that's at 30 yards.
And there's only one material difference between this Targe and the last Targe, and that is a thin layer of compressed wool webbing. And it stopped one depth of planking in.
Hasn't hit any of the brass studs either.
It's not.
No metals deformed it.
So,
Oh, now.
That is cool.
Well,
That's very interesting.
I am
eh?
surprised.
That's
I'm
very.
surprised.
I'm a little surprised too.
There's a slight bulging in the back. You can see the pins have come out.
Yes.
So that would have definitely hurt a lot.
You would have
You
felt
might
it.
have, and that's right where your knuckle would be.
But you know what? You would have carried this Targe down to the pub that day
Yeah.
and told that story.
So what now? Do you want to drop it a little bit?
Aye, shallower angle.
About that, 45? That looks about right.
Whoa!
Oh, wow. Okay. That went through the bit of wood and right into the face.
Ah ha ha ha! That's where the splinters have come from.
Yeah, they've come from the...
It's gone through. It's hit here, pretty centrally,
Yeah.
but high up. But it's gone through to splinter fully out the support. So it's not supported this boy in the process, but
But Mr. Musket Ball is right there. He's been stopped with a bit of wood. So how much energy do you think?
Right,
So he went to
right.
the cardboard, but he's been stopped by the stake.
Yeah.
You hear the ricochet?
yeah. It's close to a bottle of whiskey, but it's not quite.
Right in the middle.
But
It went
it's a
through.
belter. Yes, right through. Punched fully through the back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can see all the bits.
There we go.
It's like straw. Did
Yeah,
he put
that's
straw
straw.
in there? Oh, he did. The
The
padding.
straw will be the padding for the arm,
The padding for the arm.
the back.
And you see,
Straw or horsehair was your usual
standard.
material. you put
Okay.
there.
wow. And it still had plenty of energy because it's
Straight through.
blowing out the back of the stake.
More sloping the shield. It's like modern tank armour, which slopes.
Yes.
If it's vertical, it provides, if it was an inch thick, it provides an inch protection. But if you slope it, it provides much more than that.
Yes,
Vertical protection. It's
Yes.
the same principle, sloping the shield,
Uh-huh.
sloping the Targe.
Aye.
Let's get the pistol down here.
He hit it!
Who said that?
Oh,
Well, there's the Targe. There's the boss.
there's the boss. And there's the bit of wood that
Behind the boss.
Graham said he put it
That's
in.
dunted in there.
Oh wow, right on it.
Match and match. Fit right there. There we go. Dunt. Belt. There
So
you
it
go.
saved them.
So yeah, absolutely. Stopped it
Completely.
clearly. And that musket ball will be away back in the woods there somewhere.
I hope it's a malt whiskey.
Because that's, well, we didn't qualify what type of whiskey now, did we?
Dash it, we
Or
didn't.
the size of bottle.
I've been tricked with that before. I wouldn't have won a
I think you have
competition.
to check beforehand. And the fact that the metal is curved. It's
Yeah.
not a flat surface that the ball's hitting.
Yes, yes. You know, and I think the wood being behind it as well
Would have helped.
has really saved it.
Definitely.
Possibly any danger of it punching through. You've got a lot of material support, and that's clearly spreading the force with full contact on the Targe.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a perfect vehicle for deflection, in fact.
Well, we see how the Targe does minus that.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Let's do, and should we keep it flat?
I think
or
we'd
do you
like to
want
know
us
the-
to
Let's
tilt
keep
it?
it flat.
Yeah.
Caught it.
You caught it?
It's
Oh, it's
caught
right
it.
there.
Now that was square on,
Yes.
and it's not hit a stud.
Yeah.
It's gone straight into the wood, and it's stopped between the first and second planking.
Has it come through? The wooden support's right in front of it.
That's true.
Might have to.
It's right on the grip, and I can feel something there. It's it's pushed, but it's not punched through.
It's not going through.
It's not split
No.
actually. It's not splintered at all.
Okay.
So we move on to the final Targe?
It's an interesting
It did, yeah.
place to hit it. I'm seeing daylight through it.
is.
Oh,
Yeah,
looks like it went
clear
through.
daylight. It's punched. Whoa,
Mm.
right through, yeah.
Goodness me, that's a lot of damage on the other side there.
Aye.
More so than the softwood.
Well,
Yeah,
you've
I think so.
effectively impacted right against the ends of the grain.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
that's true. That would
boom.
split it.
Yes.
Would split it wide open, which
Yeah.
is it's done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you split wood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do when you make kindlers, axe, end of the
Aye.
grain.
Yeah, exactly.
Aye,
yeah.
aye.
It was split, so
Yeah.
Well,
that's probably why it got through.
we've just found a much more entertaining way to make your kindling.
Is it worth another shot at that angle?
Probably, yeah.
I would say
yeah,
so.
yeah, I
aye.
would say so.
would say so.
Good hit.
That was a solid hit. See it there on the side,
Oh, it went through though.
right here, and it's been between the studs. It's punched through. Yes, fully through.
Oh, wait. That just landed at your knee.
Look at that.
Gee whiz.
Where did that
She's
come
still
from?
warm.
Feel the heat.
There's where it's
Ah,
stopped.
there you go.
It's been stopped by that bit of wood, which, aye, could as well be a forearm.
Aye.
That
But
would
I
be in
reckon-
your,
I reckon-
your hand.
You could at least have a fracture or break or punch through muscle
Yeah.
with it, because you can see it split the
Split the wood.
here well with the force. There's a bit of force going into that. A lot of soldiers, you know, in the 18th,
Aye.
19th century as well, would have a few musket balls in them.
Yeah.
They'd keep a few with them, you know, through the rest of their careers. If the surgeons couldn't,
Can
you
get
know,
them
it was
out.
too deep,
Mm-hmm.
and because a musket ball can deflect off a bone
Mm.
and travel another path.
Yes, it can, indeed.
Donald McBain carried three
Three musket balls in him.
musket balls and a silver plate in his head, covered in scars and full of stories.
So that's
Well,
interesting that
You can
I
see
was
it-
thinking
it's
the oak
really
was going to be
splintered.
better,
You can
but
see
it seems like it's just
aye, it's
brittle.
Really,
You can see
really
the-
splintered.
so potentially the softwood combination is actually superior. Should we do it again a slightly lower angle?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's probably going to go through again, but maybe if we try something more in the middle,
Do
Might hit the boss.
let's see if we hit the boss.
He's going for that second bottle.
That definitely went through.
You see the difference as well there as to where it got hit. When it hit here, boom, it spun, you know, almost the whole thing. Here you barely saw it move.
Yeah.
The Targe barely moved. And that was sitting, yes, right where the arm is.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Ouch.
tight as shattered the oak into tiny pieces here.
Is that from a previous shot?
Shattered into tiny pieces here.
Wow. So that would have gone in your arm.
Oh, oh aye.
But it went through, didn't it? It didn't break that wood. And it came out through the...
Oh, did it go right through the support?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it went through the wood. I think it was just below the
Oh,
support.
just below,
Aye,
the leather was
it's
below,
hanging
yes.
here, so it's punched through.
Uh-huh.
It has punched through.
That's a bit of...
See, it's
Is that a bit of the leather?
See, it's
It looks like it.
And then one of these...
That was just
Oh, you can see that's all new.
straight hole.
Yes, it is.
That's all...
tiny, it's the tiny shards which match the back of the Targe.
Aye, aye, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Splintered. Shattered. It shatters the oak.
What do you reckon, a pistol? Compare the pistols?
I'm really interested to see how the pistol compares now, knowing how easily this smashes and, you know, splinters. Nice plastic fluid. I think it's just gone past it.
I think it has, and
I think
pushed
it's
the
in
stud
there.
out.
Yes, it's popped the stud out. Aye,
Yeah.
Still warm.
aye, aye,
I think if it would have hit the stud first, you would have seen much more clear of a dent on
Yes.
that rim.
aye. What we've got behind it though is the splinting from before. This is
Yeah.
this is the shot
Yes.
here, which is burst out quite a degree. But I don't think this is has pushed out anymore. Seems to have held at a shallow angle,
Yes,
at least.
Yeah.
Right next to another shot.
Yeah.
Shall we see if 45 degrees on it makes a difference?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right on a stud.
You're right, it is.
Right on a stud.
Right on the stud.
Cracking shot. He's
Oh,
going
it
for
is.
that second bottle of whiskey. It's right on a stud. And it's
just
stopped
flattened
it
out.
practically on the surface.
Yeah.
Practically on the surface.
Nothing, no, nothing,
Nothing in the back. No?
nothing at the back. No.
So that's totally absorbed it. I think we need to do another at 45
You reckon?
on the leather.
Doesn't miss again. I think.
That fire?
It didn't fire.
I didn't put the ball in.
So he's hit a stud
Hit stud again.
and it's basically bounced off.
Oh.
It's not there.
It's just flattened that out, isn't it?
It's right.
Okay.
Stopped it. So we just need to not hit a stud this time.
How many studs?
It's
That's
amazing
enough,
the
huh?
studs seem
Yeah,
to
see,
be...
he's hit another stud. It's too good. See? Too good.
Yeah, Sean, maybe you're right. Maybe there's some weird magneticness about this that we don't know.
Some force.
Yeah, warm, that's the one. That's the one you just fired.
The
It literally,
imprint of the stud.
and you found that just right here.
Yeah, right at my
So
feet.
it literally bounced off.
It's just gone
That was
boing.
at 45, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pam! Ponk.
Like that. Like that, probably.
Yep. Spot on.
Yep. Perfect fit.
Yep, yep.
Looks like a stud again.
You know, come on, Luke. Luke's mostly not
Oh,
stud.
did I hit in the middle?
It is mostly not stud actually, and it's deep in there.
Is
Didn't
it
get
still
through.
in there, the ball?
Yeah, you can see it. You can see
Uh-huh.
it. You can see it. It's still in there, but it's not punched through, and it's not splintered through. Well, I think the test now,
Flat
a
on.
real tailor would be hitting the leather at 90 degrees with a pistol.
It's beside the other one.
It's right beside the other one. You hit another stud. But again, look at that.
Look at that.
There's a difference between that's been hit at 45 degrees on,
Yeah.
on the leather, but at 45 degrees it's gone deep, it hasn't gone full through. That's at 90 degrees, face on, but it's hit a stud.
And it's barely
That
gone.
stud has saved it
Yeah.
from going any further completely. And we know that because it's more brittle
Yeah,
wood. So there's no question that the stud's been the main thing that's played in there. So we need to know.
Nice,
We need to know.
So what happened there? Missed the studs?
On the leather.
On
Yep,
the leather?
Absolutely on the leather. And there she is.
There she is, sitting
Right there. She's not gone any further.
So it's very pistol proof.
The main difference with this one though, the hardwood, is it didn't stop the musket. Even at shallow angle.
Aye. So is there any other shots we want to try? Or do you think that we've kind of got everything that we...
Yeah.
I think it's covered all angles.
It's covered all
I think
angles,
so,
yeah,
aye.
literally. Alrighty, we had some unexpected results there.
We did.
My predictions were wrong. I thought I was going to do better. Our first hits for all of them were shallow angles with that musket. And maybe that's a good thing to focus on because everyone was slightly different. Yeah, do you want to talk us through it, Paul? What do you think is going on?
Yeah, so Targe's held at an angle of about 20 degrees. Yeah, this was surprising because I think in our minds to start with, we're thinking
Felt
it's
soft
either going to
wood.
go through
Aye.
or it's going to stop it. But we didn't expect it to bounce in a way through where the deflection of the Targe surface actually saved, I think, the Targe.
Yeah.
You know, from a lot of damage because the shot continued in a straight line, but because of the deflection of the Targe, it looked like it had bounced in and out of the
Aye,
Targe.
yeah, yeah.
You've got entry and exit wound essentially. So this was surprising, and I think the softwood also here's helped absorb that energy as the Targe has moved.
Yes, which is something I didn't think. I was thinking oak all the way. Hardwood, surely hardwood equals better shield. But this was showing something different. Yeah, so our first shot on the softwood with the wool core,
Yep.
also very
The
interesting.
Alba Targes here. This
Yep.
was our shallow angle shot right here with the musket, and it stopped it. It's fully stopped it. The boom, it's gone as far certainly as the first planking, and it's likely met the wool in there, go into that second planking, but it's not gone any further. So even at the shallow angle here with the softwood, with the wool, it's bulletproof, it's stopped it.
So I thought, in my predictions, I just thought, right, hardwood with the wool core, this is going to be the best. But actually, it's probably the most, the biggest exit wound out of all of them. And that was even, so even at that steepest angle, that 20 degrees, what one was the 20 degrees?
Near the edge.
Was that
Just
edge?
punched through
Yeah,
there.
this one. So even with that 20 degrees, it was going through where the softwood Targes stopped the first shots. But then we moved on to the pistols, and you were quite surprised by the effectiveness of the tacks, weren't you?
Yeah,
Of
exactly, yeah.
the studs.
What we're seeing with the pistol was that all the Targes took the pistol shots, yeah? It was
Aye,
stopping
they
the
all
pistol
stopped them,
balls
yeah.
at all angles, even 90 degrees. That was a surprise,
Aye,
you know?
yeah,
Was
yeah.
actually.
I think all of us would have thought at 90 degrees.
Yeah, I thought at
musket
least
balls going through,
the pistol
and
would get
quite
through
likely the pistol balls going
Yeah.
through as well, but it didn't. All of the Targes stopped the pistol balls at 90, at 45 and at 20 degrees. But the significant difference is when it was received on a stud.
that. Aye.
The studs had the effect of stopping it completely to the point where we've got the ball literally bouncing off the
Yeah.
Targe, or deflecting it enough that it's going just very shallow
Aye.
into the wood and no further
Yeah.
than the first plank.
So, I guess, in my mind, if you had to carry one of these Targes, what one would you carry?
Softwood with the wool, please.
Yeah.
That'll do, mate.
Yeah, I think that works.
Definitely, yeah.
For you guys, what's the main takeaway points, main things you're surprised about?
Use softwood and cover your Targe in studs.
And pitch it at an angle if you can. Okay? David?
And for someone who's actually firing
Yeah.
at this weapon, try and get above it, to the side of it, below it, at the man, but don't put your shot on target on one of these. My big surprise, a pistol stopper. Wasn't expecting it, especially at the vertical angle. My man's got a Targe, trying to aim at somewhere out with that Targe area. Absolutely.
Excellent. Thanks for setting this up, Tom.
Oh, no worries. Thank you both for
I always say every
coming
day's a
along.
school day, but this has been a great day at
It's
school.
been a fun day. Yes.
It has. If only school was like
Can
this.
school do me like this, please? Great. Well, yeah. Thank you both. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Raymond.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Manny, who took all the brunt.
He really worked the hardest.
He did work the hardest.
Suffered for his art.
Yeah. So in order to fund more myth-busting videos like this, I'm going to be selling tickets for a prize draw for the chance for someone to win this gorgeous Targe made by Vaughan Moffat from Hammer in Hand. It's got this beautiful cowhide backing, lots of decorative stud work in the front. It comes with a carrying strap that has a ski and Aklish knife attached to it. It can be worn in the sheath attached to the strap, or it can also be worn in a sheath that's attached to the back of the shield. Cool stuff. And this Targe still has 5 pistol balls still embedded in it, so it'll be a great wall hanger, talking piece, or anyone who's into, you know, Jacobite reenacting. So if you want to enter for a chance to win this awesome Targe, then head to my website tomlanghorn.com/shop, and there you'll find all the relevant information on how to buy a ticket. I'll be running the prize draw until 12 PM on the 30th of June 2023. After that, I will announce the winner on all my social media outlets. So I hope you enjoyed this, folks. Huge thanks to Paul, Raymond, Graham and Vaughan and everyone else who made this video possible. Big thanks to my patrons. Also huge thanks to Wandrium for sponsoring this video. Please do try out that free trial, folks. It's a cool platform. Good luck on the prize draw, and I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Catch you later.